Hey there, everyone, and welcome to SideQuest, the every other week Authors and Dragons game where we actually don't play a game and we talk about other things. Let me start by saying, hello, friends. My name is not Robert Bevan, but joining us is Robert Bevan, Drew Hayes, John Hartness, Steve Weatherall, and myself, Rick Gualtieri. But speaking of Robert Bevan, we have a special segment to start us off with, which is Robert Bevan reviews a movie he's actually fucking seen.
I'm catching so much shit for this. I like some movies, and I'm not a monster. I've got kids. I'll take them to see Star Wars when it comes out.
Father, can we please see Star Wars? All the other children are beating us with sticks.
What's really funny about this is we threw out the idea of should we try and talk about the new Star Wars movie for this episode, and then quickly realized that almost none of us had seen it, with the weird exception one of them being Bob, who is usually the one who has never seen the movie.
Because we're usually talking about superhero movies, and I don't care about those. Because that's all that 2009, all that the past 5 years has given us.
Well, we all have to make sacrifices, Bevan.
I don't mind. Understand that when a Star Wars movie comes out, I'll go see it. I didn't see Solo, though.
The mask slips.
I didn't either. I sat in the theater for 2 hours, but I didn't see it either. The goddamn thing was so dark, I couldn't tell what the fuck was going on.
I saw Solo eventually.
Please, Father. The children asked if I knew who C-3PO was, and then they spat on me when I said no.
I saw Rogue One. I kind of liked it. It was
I
pretty
liked
good.
Rogue One. I like the last third of Rogue One very much.
Well, that explains why I haven't made it past the first third of Rogue One.
I considered Rogue One to be a completely unnecessary movie.
Oh, yeah, it was completely unnecessary.
Well, they're all unnecessary, but
Well, okay, it's necessary.
mankind has survived for a long time before 1977.
But did it really?
There's a difference between survive and thrive.
I like the idea of it. Like, all right, how do they get those plans? We didn't need it, but why not?
I got the impression that
fine.
entire movie was made to justify the why does the Death Star have a stupid weakness
That
argument.
could be it.
But you see, I always answered that question with who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
So that movie was really unnecessary to me.
Yeah, it's not like we've had 30 years of civil war because of that point.
I mean, I worked construction. I just assumed it was built by the lowest bidder.
Yeah, shitty builds happen. It never bumped me that somebody cut a corner.
Well,
Yeah, I always found it quite credible, actually, just, from looking at real life.
I figured it was something like, it's like, Lord Vader, sir, we need to spend an extra week to get some vents on it. It's like, force joke. Shut up, fucker.
Fuck you.
We also like a railing around that giant death cannon laser. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, fuck it. I murdered all of Galactic OSHA. Screw safety.
Yeah.
The more safety regulations you you try to you try to grasp, the more slip through your fingers.
Yeah. I mean, I thought I had a cracked article a long time ago, and it raised a really good point. It's like all this shit costs money, and you've got all those cloned stormtroopers around. And you got to feed them, and you got to give them their shitty armor that doesn't do anything. So why not put them in this space station, which is just really easy to blow up? We'll blow up a planet. They'll panic. They'll come and blow up our really easily blowable up space station. Boom. No pensions for, 1 million stormtroopers.
Hey, stormtroopers, are you looking to get away from it all? Well, come to this completely non-blow-upable pleasure planet.
Good news, guys. Where you getting a transfer? You're all getting a transfer.
Oh, and this sounds just so much like things that companies actually do.
Yeah, see, I did not need a movie to clarify that.
If the whole Titanic thing was a way to get out of paying the laborers. Oh, well, sorry, I can't pay you for the boat. It sank.
Goddamn, that would have been such a great line in Return of the Jedi. It's like, we destroyed your Death Star. No, young Skywalker, you saved me a shit ton of cash.
What do you mean Vader forgot to mail the insurance check? No.
With the insurance premium on the original Death Star, we will build another Death Star. Because we're not one for planning. Something dark side.
Oh wow! Are you sure you didn't see it? That was actually an explanation in there for something that happens. Something dark side.
Oh, God.
I think that's the explanation for 90% of what happens in the movie. Say, hey, but what about, hey, this makes no sense. The dark side gives you powers that make no sense.
They're unnatural.
Yeah, so I saw Rogue One. I didn't think it was necessary, but I enjoyed it. And I thought Solo was super unnecessary because, again, when someone says, well, what if we knew Han Solo before he was cool? No, I don't really care.
My beef with Solo was just that it tried to cram every interesting thing that Han Solo mentioned in the first trilogy into one 2-hour movie.
Yes, but all those things were kind of enigmatic and cool because Harrison Ford was saying them. Once you actually try and explore them, and Harrison Ford isn't saying them.
They were kind of stupid.
Yeah. Well, my main problem with Solo was they tried to take a movie about a character who's supposed to be kind of scum who had a change of heart and made it about some guy who really was pretty nifty to begin with and and just might have gotten caught in some questionable stuff. Fuck no. Give me an R-rated Han Solo movie in which he's essentially Wolverine for 2 hours, before falling down on his luck and realizing, oh, maybe I should take some cash from this old guy and this little fuck with the laser sword.
Or maybe he planned to murder them all the whole time. He's like, fuck it, I'll just take their money and then I'll throw them out the spaceport.
I didn't see Solo, but I do. It sounds like it's falling under one of the basic rules of storytelling that they fucked up, which is we've talked about this again. There's a reason horror movies are shot in the dark. It's a lot better sometimes to not see.
Yes.
A lot of the stuff he alludes to in the first movie, that sounds really cool because you are filling in a lot of those gaps with coolness and imagination.
Yes.
If you're showing it, it's probably going to be a lot less cool than whatever personal shit I constructed.
Yeah.
Was it all of them explaining cool things that was said, or did they try and do things like explaining the unit of measurement and the Kessel Run?
Yeah. I did think this entire movie was made to explain that fucking Kessel Run gaff they made.
It was.
And again, I could
was.
explain that Kessel Run gaff very easily. Fuck you.
Well, I always assumed it was a mistake in the writing, but forgave it just because Han Solo was just talking bullshit and he didn't know what a parsec was.
Yeah, he didn't need to know. He's talking to a moisture farmer, somebody whose job it is to just wring out a damp cloth, once in a while.
You could have said he's talking to a guy who thinks he's a wizard and a boy. So it's really fast and do fucking parsecs.
We did the Kessel Run in under 12 hot dogs. Yeah.
My fucking dog's smarter than you. Yeah, it was an unnecessary. I would say there are bits of Solo I enjoyed. It was a good movie. I always do like to see kind of attempts to expand the Star Wars universe. But so far, and this is, with the last of the Skywalker saga coming to an end, I'm quite pleased about it because every movie that has sucked in Star Wars has been because it can't really escape from what has come before. And that's why I like The Mandalorian so much. It wasn't involved with any Skywalker bullshit. It wasn't trying to give any explanations for some throwaway line Harrison Ford accidentally belched when the cameras were running. It was just, we'll tell a good story in the Star Wars universe.
Well, yeah, I think the best ones, if you look at some of the video games, are the ones that say, there's a whole other fucking universe here. It doesn't all have to revolve around, the Death Star.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have to elaborate on something just for the sake of it.
Think about it. In the entirety of that galaxy, how many billions of people never even heard of the fucking Death Star?
Well, and even if you wanted to use the canonical characters, Tim Zahn wrote a book called Scoundrels, which is a Star Wars heist novel. Doesn't have a goddamn thing to do with the Force or Jedis, really. It's just a fun heist story with Lando Calrissian and Han Solo and some other people stealing shit. That would make a great standalone movie.
Yeah. So, with that indictment from me, that maybe it's a good thing, maybe the past should die. Maybe we should kill it if we have to. Bevan, kill this movie for us with your review.
I warned you guys, you're gonna be disappointed. I loved it. I came out of there so pumped.
Oh, nice.
That's yeah, I've got really. I mean, I came out of there thinking, I can't wait to get home, because I knew a lot of people were bitching about it. I was like, I can't wait to get home and see what all those whiners are bitching about. And so I came home and I looked at some reviews. Oh wow, they made a lot of really good points, but I don't care. I really enjoyed the movie. It gave me what I wanted in the new Star Wars movies, which I guess started with the Force Awakens, where I really enjoy seeing the old wreckage of the former things like Star Destroyers, and now we got the Death Star, and just seeing people interacting with it and stuff like that. And that was
I thought you were gonna say the old wreckage, like, oh, here's Han Solo, oh, we're gonna kill him now. Fuck you. Here's the wreckage of your childhood.
Fuck you, you wreckage. I would say that talk about the old. I've always loved the junk aesthetic of Star Wars. A lot of people try and be smug about Star Wars. Like, it was rescued in the editing. It's like, maybe to an extent. But the score and the sound design and the actual mise-en-scene of the entire Star Wars universe is art in itself. I love the way it looks. Always have done.
Has anybody else listened to the podcast Blockbuster?
No.
It's a limited edition podcast. It's 6 episodes, and it talks about the couple of years but when Jaws and Star Wars were released and all the shit that Lucas and Spielberg went through making it. And they talk about the fact that at the first time Lucas ever screened Star Wars for his film buddies, which are like, I don't know, Scorsese and Brian De Palma and all these smart people, they all walked out and they're like, we're really sorry, George. You could have had a career. And then that fucking score. Then he hired John Williams, and I mean, holy shit, that score is just incredible.
Yeah, I'd be interested to watch it without the score now and see what it's like.
Oh, that's a really weird one to contemplate.
Yeah. I mean, every time I'm sitting in the theater and that theme comes on, the fucking hair on my arms stands up, man.
But, there's a lot of other things we take for granted. Every time a fucking lightsaber starts up, it's one of the most iconic sounds in movies. Yeah. Every time a TIE fighter screams through the atmosphere, it's fucking brilliant. Those things are great.
R2-D2.
Yeah, but something, there's such a thing as relying too much on this. And I'm going to diverge from Bob here and say this is a movie that was not saved in editing.
The circle is complete.
Yes. Without offering any spoilers, I will just say one of the things that bugged the shit out of me out of the Michael Bay Transformers movies, I mean, there was a lot of things that bugged the shit out of me, but one of the things that bugged the shit out of me most was just the utter contempt that he showed in editing the movies, in that shit happens for no explanation other than shit happens. And all I could think watching this movie was, this is Star Wars as given to us by fucking Michael Bay. Because the entire movie is, here shit happens, and we could fix this with a simple explanation, but something, we're not gonna, and we're just gonna say, fuck you, this shit is just happening because it happens.
Can you give a spoil-free example?
Okay, a spoil-free example, and if you've seen any ad for this, it's probably obvious that there's something that has to do with the Emperor in it.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? The whole point of the Emperor is is back. Getting back to what Bob said about the whole, the dark side makes us do unnatural things. Basically, they could have given any reason why he survived being thrown into a fucking fusion reactor, and they just kind of gloss over it with, nobody even asks how the fuck are you alive. He's just like, the dark side gives us unnatural powers. I'd be like, motherfucker, you just got heated up to 5 billion Kelvin. How are you even here?
I totally just bought that. I figured, he's a Force ghost. He's gonna manipulate matter somehow, and you can even see it with his like nasty fingers when they But he's been
here's the problem.
really going at this for a long time, and
but I'm going to tell you, here's the problem with that is you can tell why this makes no fucking sense, because if the Emperor survived the end of Jedi, he lost a Death Star. He could have easily popped up and said, "Hey, motherfuckers, I'm still alive. The Empire is still here, and let's hunt these fuckers down." There's no reason for him to have suddenly been like, "Oh, I'm just going to go to another planet and chill out for 30 fucking years."
That is a good point. They already lost a Death
he
Star.
needed to grow his fingers back.
He doesn't need fingers. He gonna borrow Darth Vader's fingers. He didn't need them anymore.
He was shy about his fingers, all right? He already had that face going on. Without getting too much into the conspiracy theories, I did hear there was kind of a lot of shenanigans going on with the editing, and perhaps not everything that was supposed to make it in made it in.
So Rick and I were talking about this beforehand. It's probably good to seg into it. We're recording this on the day that the JJ cut thing trended on Twitter. And if you're listening to this with no idea what that is, there was as of this recording. So if there's more information now, obviously shit has changed. But an anonymous source, I think it was on Reddit or something, posted some stuff that more or less indicated that a lot of the stuff for the new Star Wars movie was done at Disney's insistence, rather than done like out from under J.J. Abrams. Now that is a pretty wild claim, and one source does not a fucking reliable story make.
Unless you're Twitter.
Yeah, like so. And if time has marched on and this has like somehow gotten confirmed and shit, well, my apologies, but due diligence, as of right now, this is not a reliable story by any means, but it is one that has sort of captured the attention and interest of people.
Well, I haven't seen it yet, but I am hearing rather similar things about the editing and pace that suggests it was maybe a little bit rushed. But see, I put that down to the fact that The Last Jedi, for all that was good about it, kind of just fucking derailed everything. And I wasn't even sure. So I've not really been in a hurry to see The Rise of Skywalker, because after The Last Jedi, I just thought, well, that's kind of it, isn't it?
Okay, honest question. Is there a collective amnesia going on? Have people forgotten that J.J. Abrams is bad at endings? Like, famously, his whole shtick is not knowing how to end things. That's what that mystery box speech tells you. Like, every time he has to do an ending, he either ducks out or fucks it up. So
he's the Stephen King of film.
He has never done a good ending. I don't know why people are, like, shocked at the possibility that he did a bad one.
I thought, The Last Jedi had already taken care of that for him. It's kind of, well, we just ended the trilogy a movie early, so, put your feet up, guys.
Did nobody at Disney sit down and, like, think this? I mean, because everybody's, like, acting like Last Jedi just appeared out of nowhere. Like, it's like, oh, there's a subversive film that we now need now to, like, to utterly, like, reverse on. It's like, how the fuck did, like, Last Jedi happen if you're just going to, like, come back and be like, fuck that last movie.
For the record, I liked Last Jedi too.
I did too.
I like
really
bits of it.
Last Jedi.
I liked it about as much as most of the others. I'm very medium on this whole thing.
I wasn't too. I don't think the whole casino planet thing was necessary, but
no. I thought that was fucking awful. There were bits in The Last Jedi that because I've watched it about 3 times now, just trying to find out exactly what it is that annoys me about it. And there's just a lot of kind of unearned emotional moments in there. I was sitting there watching Admiral Holdo talking to Leia, and they're kind of gushing at each other, and I just think about it for a minute and think, who the fuck are you? And then Rose Tico explaining to, Jesus Christ, I forgot his name. Finn? It's not Finn, is it? Yeah, it's Finn. Oh, this is what the war really means. I'm just thinking, who the fuck are you? Why aren't Finn and Poe hanging out? Yeah, why aren't the people we're introduced into in the first movie now hanging out and having adventures?
And then there's Admiral, I have purple hair and I've been introduced to die.
Yeah, it's like, oh, she sacrificed herself. I don't care.
Yeah.
Steve, I liked the movie and I haven't seen it as often as you have.
Yeah.
Well, no,
I watched it once and was like, yeah, that was fun.
I started watching it again, but haven't finished.
It was beautifully shot. There were great moments in it. I liked the whole, as much as I was sad to see Luke go, I kind of got that was an interesting thing to do with him. Yeah, there were great bits in it. The whole Kylo and Rey thing, even though it's problematic, it was good. They were good together. Adam Driver is a fucking good performer.
Yeah, Kylo Ren is my favorite Star Wars character now.
Yeah.
He has been since Force Awakens, though. When he went like ape shit with his lightsaber like against the wall, that I loved him.
Yeah,
I like the bit where he bashes his mask into the elevator when he gets all pissed off at that.
Yeah.
This is not really a spoiler, but
he's a tantrumy boy.
His mask looked really stupid in this movie. It looked like a bicycle helmet, like with some like flames painted on it or something.
Yeah.
But that was really funny when when everybody in the staff room was like, I like your helmet. It looks cool.
It's like, you're a great fucking intergalactic force for evil. Build a new fucking hat. Come on, bro.
Listen, after that Death Star incident, there's a lot more budgetary approval going on now. You can't just get shit greenlit the way you could in the Emperor's Day, all right? Everything has to be accounted
It
for.
almost makes you say, it's like, dude, is that the only fucking helmet in the goddamn universe? Go to Walmart and pick up a new one.
Build one stormtrooper. And
that's what I loved about him, though, just as a character. He is kind of a loser from the get-go. He's got this whole grandpa thing he's hanging on to, and he doesn't need a mask to help him breathe. He just wants to look cool like Granddad. And
he needs a mask to help him look like a badass.
Yeah, and his goofy lightsaber with the little sidebars, totally unnecessary, but I think it looks cool.
He's kind of the only person in the movie who has something to prove.
Yeah.
Everyone else is just kind of, Finn's just running away.
Sidebars on the lightsaber. I know a lot of the internet got very upset when those came out. It was like, yeah, it's stupid, but it looks cool.
Yeah,
I argue that's all it was for, and it succeeded in that.
Yeah, I mean,
is Kylo Ren the kind of guy who would put those on his lightsaber just because it looks cool? Absolutely.
Definitely.
I mean, I used to drive a car with flames on the front, so I'm with it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That dude's whole image in the first movie is super fucking cultivated. The little hilt 100% makes sense.
But he does look fucking cool.
Yeah, and let's also face facts. If you're being screamed at by by Kylo Ren without the helmet versus Kylo Ren with the big scary helmet, there's gonna be a bit of a difference of intimidation factors there.
I don't know, man. All he has to do is take his top off. That guy's buff.
I'm going to scream at you, Admiral Hux, but first I'm going to take my top off.
Yeah, leave the helmet on. Yeah. Take the top off.
I think you guys are making a Magic Mike crossover.
You're damn right we are.
I think that would make $1 billion.
I was like, now I'm like, wow, yeah, that's money right there. That's somebody making a shitload of money.
Matthew McConaughey pole dancing on a lightsaber? Dude.
Ow, Kylo Ren. Get uncomfortable.
He's like, I got two things going for me, the Force and a lot of Red Bulls.
That might just be weird enough to get Donald Glover back. Because he loves a weird project.
Fuck it, let him direct it.
Yeah. Lando movie with Donald Glover, I definitely would have gone to see. That premise seems a lot more interesting. Because you just don't know shit about Lando compared to Han Solo. There's not as much to build up to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do a lot with that.
I thought they were going to do
that. Very charismatic dude.
I think that was part of the plan until Solo shit the bed as hard as it did.
Yeah. He did shit the bed pretty hard.
Okay. Did it even, we say that, did it even lose money, or did it just not make a $2 billion?
It didn't make a $2 billion.
Yeah.
And in this day and age, if you're not making a $2 billion, you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
it's so fucked up that successes are considered failures.
Well, that was another, again, the rumors of the new movie having studio interference, that's got form because that happened during Solo. They had two guys doing that who definitely seemed to have a tone they were going for, and they brought in, what's his case? Used to hang around with Ralph Malph and Podsy. I should really know his name.
Richie Cunningham.
Yeah, Richie Cunningham. He's a really important director, and I should know his
Ron Howard.
Ron Howard. Brought Ron Howard in, who is Captain Safe. And, they wouldn't have brought in an entirely new director and somebody as safe as Ron Howard.
Safe. Ron Howard gave us The Princess Bride, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's absolutely safe. He's a safe bet. It's like, if you want something done right, get fucking Ron
safe
Howard.
Bet. I thought you meant, I'm just going to come in here and make this as unoffensive as possible.
Oh, no, Ron Howard's, he's good. He's great. It's like, if you want something done right, you'd get a Ron Howard.
Reliable.
But according to
Ron Howard.
Wikipedia, the movie did lose money.
Oh, okay.
With an estimated production budget of $275 million and a total worldwide gross of $392.9 million, the film needed to gross at least $500 million worldwide to break even after marketing and all that shit.
Okay, so that one was a failure.
That really did shit the bed.
Yeah, I do want to say on the J.J. Abrams thing, like it's a very, very complicated thing, because part of me is like, it's really convenient that it seems like a lot of the stuff that the internet didn't like is getting mysteriously excused by this very specific source. But the other part of me is, I 1000% believe a giant corporation will fuck a creator without a second thought. History is littered with proof of it.
I'm wondering how much of a marketing budget did Solo really need? I mean, honestly, they could have not told people about it and just stuck a poster up in most movie theaters saying, "Oh, by the way, you're here to see something else, but there's Star Wars Solo playing," and probably would have made like that the same amount.
Imagine if they surprise dropped it. Just straight up pulled a Beyonce album. It's like, hey, it's Friday. By the way, there's a Han Solo movie.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that'd make $500 million on opening weekend. You would not be able to buy a fucking ticket to that.
You could skip the critics. So you know how they do the critic embargoes. You could skip that, and it's part of the marketing now. You're not hiding it.
There you go, Disney. We just saved you 150 fucking million.
Well,
God, what a brilliant fucking idea.
We would never have figured out about all the tumultuous activities during shooting and the firing of directors, and there'd be no negative wave for it riding, and just drop that shit. Yeah, it might have made all the difference.
Yeah, we don't need like Taco Bell tie-ins and shit.
Oh, they do. They're getting that sweet Taco Bell money. Just do it after the fact. Yeah.
Damn, now I want Taco Bell.
Oh, we always fall into this trap in the side quest.
I was watching something the other day that was talking about, in the modern society, because everyone has so much information constantly, and like, we know all of these spoilers, we know all of this behind the scenes stuff. Novelty and surprise are truly one of the most precious commodities that you have at your disposal. If you can surprise people in a positive way, that is something that's very hard to do now.
Well,
and yet, apparently, no dick pics. Unbelievable.
Well, no, think about it. Marvel's been great Marvel's been great with that, because what do? They release shit that's not in the movie in the trailer, and then you get there and you're like, the fuck. But it's usually a good fuck, because like they haven't really screwed that up.
You're 100% right. That's a great example.
Marvel are very good at doing that.
That's, I think, a reason why I did enjoy these new Star Wars movies, the sequel series. I'm a pretty easy person to please, believe it or not. If it's pretty and the story keeps me engaged, I'm not somebody that studies the history of Star Wars a lot or anything or at all. I just secrets revealed that people were complaining about. I didn't care. I thought, ooh, cool secret. Which is why I did not enjoy the prequels at all, because they were not enjoyable and did not keep me engaged.
Yeah, I fell asleep in the second one and never finished the third.
I remember the looming tide of disappointment as I was sitting there in the cinema watching The Phantom Menace, because there'd been a big build-up for that, and it looked like it was going to be fucking ace. And I remember Star Wars hitting the screen. I'd never seen that on the cinema screen. The title crawl, and then Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor two very capable actors starting talking to each other like they were fucking Adam West and Burt Ward on a bad day.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I can get through this. It's fine. The robots look a bit hokey. It's fine. It's fine. It's got lightsabers. It's cool. And then it's like, what the fuck is that? Who is this fish man?
Yeah.
There's, I think I mentioned before, Problem Child was the first movie I ever saw where I like. It's like, man, I paid money for this. I like it, right? Yeah, this is all right. No, but no, I didn't even. There wasn't even an internal struggle when I saw Phantom Menace.
Yeah, Phantom Menace was one of those movies you watch with all that build up, and you're like, okay, it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. The closing credits are here. It's not gonna get better.
So, this pod racing's pretty great because that kid's wearing a helmet and I can't see his fucking face. And then you think, that pod racing was pretty great, but entirely pointless. The same with Darth Maul. Wow, he's great. This is great, but entirely pointless. So the only two great things about that movie, if they hadn't have been in the movie, I don't know, might have actually tightened up the story a bit, I suppose.
I didn't even care about the pod racing. I mean, the pointlessness is what I was focused on. Like, man, this is like, for a transition from one scene to another, this is such a huge waste of time. And yeah, I guess it kind of looks cool.
The prequels really showed that the Emperor had no clothes because up until then, I mean, George Lucas had this myth about him of like he could do no wrong, and people ignored the fact that he didn't direct Empire. Which was the we're not talking about the actual Emperor from Star Wars having no clothes because that's a terrible image that I don't want to leave our listeners with.
God damn it!
What a twist!
If his face is that wrinkled,
the metaphorical.
We do find out that he must have had sex at some point.
Oh man, somebody had to bounce on that.
That may not have spoiled the movie, but I think it spoiled my lunch. Jesus.
I'm afraid, young Skywalker, my cock will be quite operational.
Rick, I know what you're saying, but I think Lucas had fucked it up before that because they had released those digitally remastered versions of the original trilogy with the added scenes that we were all supposed to just jizz ourselves over. And
they were terrible.
They were real fucking medium.
And the re-edits were Han shot second and shit. Yeah, it's like the whole the retcon definitely left bad taste in people's mouths, especially like when they were like, no, this is the definitive version of Star Wars, and you can't buy the originals anymore. Yeah, I think that definitely was the beginning of watching the facade crumble away.
If you look at them now, the inserted CGI things meant to tar it all up, like they go to Tatooine and there's like these big digital monsters. They look worse than the original effects. If they just re-released the movie and just touched up the effects, just HD'd that bad boy without all that faffing about, people would have still went to see it. I don't think anybody was like, there's going to be 12 more seconds of conversation that wasn't important enough to make it into the original film.
Yes. And here's a Jabba the Hutt that looks nothing like the Jabba the Hutt that you thought you knew, but infinitely worse somehow.
Yes.
And why would you steer away from practical? Practical is always going to look like what it looks like. CGI is pretty much always going to look like dog shit in 5 years by comparison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think we knew that at the time. It was a time of optimism for CGI.
And honestly, I don't think there was anybody at Lucasfilms to tell George Lucas, no, this is stupid.
That
totally
I
was
think
not.
is very much indicative of the problem. And that just happens a lot. Have you guys ever looked at the transcript of Lucas, Spielberg, and someone else? And I believe it's like the first Indiana Jones movie. It's a transcribed audio file of them like hammering out like the script and the plot of the first one. And it's interesting because you do see like the give and take. Like you'll see George like throw out some stupid shit and then be like, no. But every now and then like he'll hit a good one. Like, for example, I think he tries to throw out using the the raft as like a parachute thing that got into number 2 as a number 1 option. And
I think
like,
some of that's in
stupid.
that podcast I talked about.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. They talk about all kinds of shit.
Yeah, look at Mel Brooks movies. Mel Brooks is funniest when he sat down with people like Gene Wilder in a room with other people and they bounced it back and forth. I think Mel Brooks's lesser efforts have been where it's just been like him saying, okay, I'm Mel Brooks, I'm funny, let me do this.
I mean, collaborating with awesome people always makes you better.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how medium Shingles would be without John Luther Davis's covers?
Ooh,
I mean, fuck, we're all right, but those covers, they're fantastic.
I'm a fan of auteur theory, and I do think the greatest films are usually done by auteurs, but good auteurs know who to work with.
Yeah.
And, trust who they work with.
Yes, once ego gets in the way, it's kind of going downhill from there.
I mean, if you look at a lot of the great filmmakers, they've got a cinematographer that they work with a lot.
Yeah, or a cast that they continually use. Yeah.
I mean, Wes Anderson has his pool he goes to a lot. TV version, Mike Shore, very specific guy with a great creative vision, but, has a stable of actors and people that he keeps working with and keep working with him because he understands how not to be an asshole about it.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler's got the you can do it guy.
Yeah.
He does.
That's not a great example.
Honestly, Adam Sandler is a pretty good example. His whole later career is just him having studios pay for vacations with him and his friends.
Yeah.
He's maybe not,
Adam Sandler,
but his friends are also comedic actors.
Yeah. And Adam Sandler can buy and sell us a million times over here. So
yeah. I know we like to shit on them, but those movies were traditionally fiscal successes. There's a reason they kept making them.
I really
I get
like
that.
51st
I was
Dates.
talking about like good movies though.
Yeah.
But generally
But
speaking,
if you look at the whole Waiting for Guffman crowd, all those people work together all the time.
I just got derailed a moment. Did anybody else remember that Adam Sandler was in Airheads?
I've never seen Airheads, so
Yeah, I haven't either.
Fuck's sake. All right. Well, now we have to watch Airheads.
Oh god.
but there's something
That
to be
might
said.
be too good for at the movies.
Bevan, you'll like it because it's got Brendan Fraser in it.
if we tried to ATM every movie that me and Bevan haven't seen, we would do that shit daily for a year.
A year.
And for the $50 Patreon tier.
But it's the same reason we have
$50 a
editors.
day.
We need people to occasionally tell us this is a dumb idea.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Writing is very much like, we don't talk about it probably as much as we should, but there is a collaborative effort to writing when you include the editors, the beta readers, the cover designers. Like, as much as we are the driving force, don't ever think a writer who buys into their own press and thinks they're the only function of it is probably going to start fucking up pretty soon.
Is Anne Rice.
I'm glad you said it and not me.
Fuck it, she doesn't know I exist. I love you, Ms. Rice.
I mean, it's definitely punching up.
But yeah, I mean, if I look at the Quincy Harker stuff, by the way, the newest title released 2 days ago, Goodbye Inflection Point, I've used the same editor since I started that series, and Melissa calls me on my bullshit. And she keeps the Bible for the series. So for the longest time, she was in charge of remembering, she's still in charge of remembering what color everybody's eyes and hair are.
Oh man, I really need to do that. I just don't mention a lot of physical features because I know I'll forget them later.
Yeah, I have a Melissa, so I have somebody who'll fix that. And Natanya Barron does all my covers for that series. I liked the covers she did for me starting with year 3 so much I went back and redid year 1 and year 2 with her doing the covers. Because the collaboration, and once you've worked with somebody so many times, there's a shorthand that you develop. I mean, Rick, you use the same cover artist a lot, and you use Megan for pretty much everything.
Yeah. I mean, when I go to Mallory and I say, hey, I want to do this, she will push back and tell me, that's a really dumb idea, and here's why you don't want to do it. And you know something? I'm a firm believer that when you pay somebody to be a subject matter expert and they actually call you on it, you maybe should listen to them.
Yeah. Otherwise, what are you paying the money for?
But, from the same perspective, Disney, if you're going to hire J.J. Abrams to do what he does, maybe fucking let him do it.
There's a difference between letting a subject expert and, like, An
J.J.
editor
Abrams.
telling you pushback versus a publisher saying, "Hey, we want this to happen," are very different things.
You know what I think? I think Star Wars probably could have benefited from having like somebody who was just an overall showrunner the same way Marvel did. You know, somebody who's basically just in charge of maybe not writing the stories, maybe not that, but somebody who's just in charge of the overall vision to make sure that, okay, all of this shit is kind of going in the same direction.
Oh yeah, if you're telling one story over 3 entries, that maybe there should be some person ensuring there's a consistent thread running everything through. What a fucking idea.
John Favreau, for instance. He seems to have got it right quietly on the side while everyone was fighting about the main movies. Mandalorian. Just snuck that one in there.
John Favreau is a genius.
He's real smart. He picks projects where I seem to let him do what he wants. Like, he did the Iron Man, but everyone forgets, like, no one gave a shit about Iron Man in 2008.
Yeah.
They're like, who the fuck? What the fuck? Whatever.
You want to do what with him? Yeah,
you want to use Downey? Fine, you can have him. He's over.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're still riding that elf juice for a little bit. All right, fine.
We'll throw you this bone, Favreau.
Yeah, but
I'm sure it won't end up being the linchpin stone in a fucking world-beating franchise for 10 years.
Yeah. But he's smart. Like, instead of going for the main franchise, he goes for stuff where he's like, nah, fuck it. Yeah, I want something that no one cares about, so you can kind of play with it.
And makes it the best goddamn thing on television in an entire year.
Yeah, almost like the creative juice is more important than the corporate juice.
Huh. Funny how that goes.
Oh, I mean, come on. Look at the story behind what almost happened with like the whole Superman Lives movie. It's such a tale of corporate fuckery where you had producers who were just like, I want something to happen just because I want it to happen, you know, and the whole thing just like, it makes you glad that movie actually never got off the ground, because it would have been such a giant clusterfuck and giant fuck you to the character of Superman, even more so than probably Superman or Batman versus Superman. That
the producers, should just stick to what they're good at, which is creative accounting, verging on fraud,
and
making sure they never have to pay anybody on the back end. That's it.
Yes.
At a certain point, has anybody else wondered if the producers of the current DC universe saw the musical by Mel Brooks, The Producers, and had the brilliant idea? It's like, oh, what if we took this to film?
I have actually had that idea. I was like, this has got to be a fucking money dodge. Who's the mobbed up cocksucker that's trying to hide $1 billion or something?
Yeah. So, Superman was Hitler all along.
There was a point, honestly, it wouldn't have surprised me if they
gonna put that one in my notepad.
Let's put a pin in that, and we'll come back to it after lunch.
Oh man. God, I had a thought on the editor parallel, but I've lost it in the Superman bit.
Sorry.
No, it was worth it.
Remembering how badly they shit all over the character of Superman just kind of.
Well, that's all right. He's the Witcher now,
Yeah.
and everything is fine.
I am glad to see Henry Cavill getting work again, because he's a talented guy when they let him off the leash.
And I mean, in a way, the Witcher, the character of the Witcher, Geralt of Rivia, is essentially what Zack Snyder had him do with Superman, just with white hair. But in this case, it works.
Yeah, it's a different character.
If you be a miserable prick in this context, it actually works.
The thing I loved about The Witcher, I mean, there are many things I loved about that show, but
not done with it, by the way. So
this won't spoil anything.
Don't spoil it.
Just that his response to every piece of shit is to just stand there, look at something that wants to kill him, and say, "Fuck."
Fuck.
And that's it.
Yeah,
It's just
that's great.
Fuck. Like, goddamn, did I write this dialogue?
I mean, I've been that hungover, but not as charismatically.
I did get to the Bard, by the way, since we last talked, and I definitely was like, I see why John immediately likes this character.
Because like every D&D party, it's improved once the bard shows up.
I look at The Witcher and I look at the Bard and I think, I've been that hungover and I've been that drunk. And that's why I like the show. I can relate to them.
I'm 3 episodes in and still kind of bored.
Oh, you're still here. let's get back to your review.
I will say, keep watching. You know, you might still be bored, but there are a lot more breasts.
And perhaps the most awkward orgy scene in the history of television.
Oh,
worse than the Ghost Rider series finale?
Perhaps.
That's desperately searching my memory back there.
It wasn't.
Just that moment of everyone who had to dig way deep into their minds. Fuck, did I see the end of that show?
I heard about a pretty awkward one in It, though I haven't seen it.
That one's awkward for different reasons. This is awkward because you'll get there. And it's really fucking awkward. But yes, lots of boobs. And motivated boobs, unlike, the occasional Game of Thrones episode.
How are those unmotivated?
Because they're just like random boobs.
I like.
Oh, you mean boobs with motivation? It's like,
yeah,
the ones
I mean, they were on women.
Motivated. Yeah.
Oh wait, now pertinent point for the Star Wars movie, Bevan.
No
any
boobs.
robot genitals in this one? Or are they still holding back?
Yeah.
No. No, I didn't notice any.
Fucking hell, Disney! It's 2020.
Cowards. Put a robot dick on the screen.
like, forget my old name. You can call me C18PO.
CP, no.
That'd be wild. It's like it gets bought by Disney and goes in the most family unfriendly direction possible.
And this is why we don't do video, because sometimes it's just me staring at the microphone thinking, the fuck did I just hear?
Look, we don't ask for a lot. We want Disney to put their money where their mouth is when it comes to progressiveness. I want hardcore robot sex.
Oh dear, sir. I'm afraid you require at least 3 gallons of lube for that sexual act.
R2, pop the top.
I mean, they danced around it in Solo, just fucking muscle up and put some robot sex on the screen.
Somebody needs to do a cut of Disney where they put subtitles every time R2-D2 beeps, and it's just all like, yeah, up the ass, man, up her ass, man.
I'm honestly thinking about it. The one time they did try to get horny with Star Wars was the Star Wars holiday special. So maybe I'm taking all of this back now. Now that I'm really meditating on that.
Yeah, some things are just better left unsexed.
They basically almost showed Chewbacca's dad jerking off.
Oh, nice. I'm saying all this, but I haven't actually seen the last movie yet. So, Bevan, Rick?
Yes,
there
has. So Bevan's
just
seen it,
Rick and Bob?
Yeah.
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 Any space putang?
Oh, Jesus.
No.
What do you think this is? A Captain Kirk episode of Star Trek?
Any nude Ewoks?
This isn't Space Puppies.
It's a gray. I'm going to give you a
could
choice
be.
of lightsabers.
Just want to see an Ewok pole dancing. I don't think that's a lot to ask. I think that's a perfectly reasonable request.
I'm sure if you go on the internet, Steve, you can definitely find an Ewok.
I don't want it to be niche, Drew. This stuff needs to come into the mainstream where it belongs.
I can't get hard unless it's canon.
We've been assigned to the shadows for too long.
Yub, you want to see my chub?
See?
The horrifying realization that is definitely real. We took a weird turn away from all that creative control stuff, too.
No, this is still very much a conversation about creative control, I think.
And why we will never have creative control of the Star Wars franchise.
Third search result gets me to a pole dancing Ewok on DeviantArt.
Nice.
So I have a question for Rick and Bob, as the two who have seen the movie. I'm just sort of curious about this. You don't have to go into spoilers. In fact, don't, obviously. But just, I guess, how do you feel about the future of the franchise at the end of this? Because it's clearly making too much money to stop. Do you feel like they have something in mind going forward? Did it leave you feeling better, worse?
I mean, I'm not the guy to ask this. I don't see where things are going, but I mean, I thought it was a nice close to the saga, but no, I never for a moment thought that Disney would buy it this late in the game and then just stop making them. I don't know if they're going to do anything with the Skywalkers or if they're going to start a new saga or what. I don't know.
Yeah, I foresee a lot of prequels. So like kind of like Star Trek did, where there's a lot of stuff that take place during the 3 movies, but they don't want to touch what happens after Rise of the Skywalker. And I think it's going to be a long time before we see anything that like actually steps into the future.
So you think it's going to be like the original 3? They're going to hit that end point, and they're going to hit this end point and be like, all right, that's implied happy ending.
I think
or implied ending. I haven't seen it, but I'm just assuming it's happy because it's a Disney movie.
I think you'll see a film adaptation of the new book Galaxy's Edge, because they built a fucking theme park built around that book, Galaxy's Edge. And if anybody ties shit together with a bow, it's fucking Disney. And then I've heard something about them doing Thrawn, which is the Tim Zahn series. So, and that had a pretty damn big following.
That was pretty good, and I would have no problem if they did that right. But considering like that the direction the sequels went in versus the whole heir to the Empire, they destroyed a whole lot of that just simply cannot happen. So they'd pretty much have to rewrite the entire thing.
Well, that brings us to an interesting creative control point, because most of the time when we talk about a book that somebody we know wrote getting turned into a movie or turned into a TV show, we're like, awesome, they're going to get a big payday, they're going to get some back end. That ain't the case with any of this, because it's work for hire. If they did turn Thrawn into a series, they don't have to pay Tim shit, because he doesn't own any of the IP. Nobody that's written for any of these properties owns any of the IP.
They'll probably do it to be nice, though, just because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, because corporations are famous for that. I get you.
It's like we've decided to compensate you with a hearty handshake
and an invitation to the premiere.
Champ.
We'll give you 2 tickets to the premiere, but you don't get to go on the red carpet because you're a fucking
not the actual premiere. The one for all the people we're not paying and we don't want to be at the actual premiere.
Yeah.
In case you make a scene.
It'll be down the street at the mall.
$15 and you're at the AMC.
But we'll give you a free small popcorn with the purchase of 3 large popcorns.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I haven't seen the movie yet. I don't know where this leaves us. Frankly, I thought that The Last Jedi was kind of an acceptable end to the entire Skywalker saga, I guess, seeing as Luke died and all. But I'm looking forward to see it. I'm going to go see it. But I honestly do think that the thing that's kind of opening up the Star Wars universe for more storytelling is definitely The Mandalorian.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
and maybe it'll let people take some risks with some of these things that are cheaper, because The Mandalorian was definitely less expensive to produce.
Yeah, and budget-wise, you can put a stripper in an Ewok costume. It's not going to cost a lot. That's a lot of return on investment.
Yeah, but
so you can take those kind of risks.
At the same time, though, the level of it used to be that like, okay, made for TV versus made for movie, there's like a world of difference between it, and that's narrowed. I mean, you could watch like a Game of Thrones or a Mandalorian and be like, and think to yourself, yeah, I could see this on the big screen.
Well, and the budgets aren't tremendously different anymore.
No, that's true.
I mean, the main thing with I think a lot of that comes down to, okay, here's this star we have to spend $20 million on to get them to put on this costume. We don't need that person for the TV show. There, we just saved a bunch of money.
Yeah,
that's another good point.
And in the case of the And in the case of the Mandalorian, isn't he always in his helmet? So it's almost kind of like, yeah. And if you piss us off and ask us for more, we'll just stick some other motherfucker beneath that helmet.
I mean, Game of Thrones was costing over $100 million a season by the time they were done.
But when you compare it to, how much did you just say one of the Star Wars movies cost?
Solo was like 300 and something million.
All right, and that's for what, a 2-hour movie. A season of Game of Thrones is how many hours?
8.
Yeah, well, a lot of hours. And
the thing is,
and it's still expensive, but I mean, when you break it down,
all these famous people that are in the limelight and people know their names, you have to actually pay them, otherwise it looks bad.
Well, that's what happens with TV shows, because you're exactly right. That's what drives the budget so much higher. Because when you hear these network shows talking about the entire cast getting $1 million an episode, all right, so for Friends, that's $6 million an episode times 22 episodes in a season. That's a big number.
They're not like writers that you can just easily dismiss and nobody cares.
That's the point where you're like, hey, we just killed them. We killed them all off screen. Now we're going to watch a show called Other Friends, who are
were Friends getting $1 million an episode in season 1?
No,
hell no.
All right, so I mean, if it's successful, if it's that successful, then it pays for itself.
Yeah, I mean, usually these people sign like a contract for so many seasons, but then if something blows up, then that's when the lawyers step in and be like, yeah, we're going to renegotiate that shit.
Well, I mean, it's also what'll eventually kill most shows, even if they're good, is because the escalating costs to keep the actors like there, it does pay out. Bevan's right. Like, for a time, it makes sense. But eventually ratings fail, creative fatigue sets in. No show is on top forever. And then suddenly you've got this massively cost-heavy show that's not regenerating the profits as much. And so it's why you'll suddenly be like, and fucking gone.
And that happens a lot more now because the syndication money isn't there.
Yeah.
It used to be when you saw when a show hit 3 or 5 seasons, then it went to syndication. But now that it's going to Amazon, Hulu, Netflix after season 1, that money negotiation's very different. So the actors are getting a lot less, and the producers who pay the actors are getting a lot less on those residual payments than they used to. So the desire is to make your money up front, which if you're not a hit after season 1, you're unemployed most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then there's always the case of the individual actor who gets greedy and is mysteriously written out of the show. So
Katherine Heigl much?
Or sometimes just like the counterpoint to that is the very reasonable one, like I can't remember the voice actress's name, but she did Maude Flanders on The Simpsons, who I think asked for a cost of living increase to move because they wanted her to move in, and they're like, we'll just kill the character.
Damn, that's cold.
Yeah, that one was like, oh shit, all right, damn.
Or Roseanne.
Well,
that's a whole different ball of wax.
Yeah, that is not quite the same thing.
That was a little different.
Fun to mention.
You just wanted that collective moment of oh shit silence from the rest of the cast. Yeah, I get you.
I miss Joe.
It's okay. We've got an MP3. We'll Steve, just drop a goddammit in there somewhere.
He'll be back next week on regularly scheduled Authors and Dragons.
Unless he asks for a cost of living increase.
Don't worry, we'll double his current salary.
What happened to Bjork? He died of old age while in between rounds.
He got hit by a tire at a NASCAR race.
All right, so the verdict from those of us who have actually watched the new Star Wars movie. Recommend, Bevan? You seem
absolutely
pretty pumped about it.
Yeah,
that's pleasing to me. Rick, less pumped about it.
Recommend more than Last Jedi, which I hated. I did not hate this. I just had problems.
Okay,
but
I
it's
just
not
had
a bad
problems
movie,
with Last Jedi, so I should imagine hopefully somewhere between you and Bevan in my enjoyment of this movie. John, Drew, excited to see it?
Yeah, I've already bought my tickets. Me and
Not as much as
Susie.
the others.
Me and Susie are doing a double header on Saturday. We're doing Knives Out, and then we're walking across the lobby to go to Star Wars.
Ooh,
man,
Knives
that
Out
sounds
is
great.
great.
I am more excited about seeing Knives Out than I am about seeing The Rise of Skywalker.
Have any of you seen Jojo Rabbit yet?
No, I don't like Hitler.
I didn't like Hitler until I saw Jojo Rabbit. Now I'm a big fan.
I don't really want to like Hitler.
I think it's past theaters and not on streaming yet, so I'm not sure this is going to change for a bit.
Just trust me, lads. It's an experience. You'll love Adolf Hitler.
All right, now that's a sound bite.
Yeah. Just in case.
All right, next time Steve pisses us off, we just throw that out there.
Goddamn, that should be our main ad for Authors and Dragons Con 2020.
I like to think I can separate the art from the artist.
Well, wait, what was Hitler's art? The Holocaust?
Oh, Jojo Rabbit.
Oh, all right.
I assume they got the actual Hitler.
I mean, also painting.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. That's true.
He was a shitty painter anyway, so there's no moral conflict there. Not that there, he'd have to be a pretty fucking good painter, really.
I can forgive a few things because of your use of existentialism and color.
Ooh, look at that conversational off ramp. All right, so
He'd have to be 10 times as good of a painter as that Arnold off Green Acres.
Drew, this is your cue to just wrap this shit up.
okay, so we've kind of talked about Star Wars that you have seen, some of you have seen, some of us have not seen, but we kind of wanted to look ahead a little bit and talk about stuff we're looking forward to that's coming up. Movies, video games, what have you. So any stuff coming up in 2020 outside of obviously Authors and Dragons Con in Nashville, August 14th to 16th. Aside from that, is there anything you guys are looking forward to?
I have to Google to see if it's really coming out in 2020. Hang on.
Okay, the new Ghostbusters movie.
All right, that'll
Is
do.
that this year already?
Is it? I hope.
I know they dropped the trailer. For some reason I thought it was further out.
God, I really hope not, because that would really bum me out. Okay, Godzilla versus King Kong then. Fuck Ghostbusters.
Holy shit.
Ooh, nice. Yeah.
Whoa, did not know that was coming out.
November.
That's a nice surprise.
Oh yeah, July of 2020, Ghostbusters Afterlife. You were right.
All right, well, that is two things that I too am looking forward to. I'm interested to see what they're going to do with Ghostbusters. I'm always interested in seeing a giant monkey fight something. So, giant monkey fighting a giant lizard. That's even better.
Yeah, I mean the thing I'm really excited about that I hope is releasing in 2020, but they won't tell me, is Baldur's Gate 3. And I haven't gotten excited about a video game release in maybe ever. But I loved the Baldur's Gate games when I was younger. I was going to say as a kid, but I was fucking 25, so.
Yeah, I do like the Baldur's Gate games.
I just hope that they don't take it too much to contemporary gameplay, and it still has kind of that top-down, move people around, be Baldur's Gate turn-based combat style that was the game.
I'm not sure what if. I do not have my ear to the ground when it comes to video games these days, I'll be honest. So I'm usually pleasantly surprised when something I want to play comes out.
Yeah, I'm assuming that, since we have, the new consoles on the way, the new Xbox and the PS5, that I have a feeling that this year is going to be kind of a dead year for good games.
I'm trying to figure out, is Diablo 4 coming out this year? Because I am kind of jazzed for that.
Don't know.
They released the trailer last year. Coming out soon. Won't be coming out soon. Not even Blizzard soon. Okay, so that's probably not going to be this year. Yeah, I mentioned, I like the platforming series, the Shantae games. Those are a fun little cartoony modern one. I think they're dropping one in March now. So that'll be fun. But I mean, that's That's gonna be fun, but I wouldn't really excite it as a major event.
I mean, it's already out, but I haven't played it yet because I'm a cheap bastard, and that's Borderlands 3.
I've heard good things about that one.
I mean, I love 1 and 2, but because I want all of the downloadable content and I'm cheap, I'm not willing to pay $100 for it, so I'm waiting for it to be like $35 at GameStop.
I actually have a friend who works at Gearbox, and hopefully we can have her on as a guest at some point. We've been trying to line up the schedule, and so far haven't made it work, but fingers crossed.
Ooh,
Cool.
We'll have your friend hook a brother up. What's the point of having friends that do cool shit if we can't exploit them for our own useless purposes?
Hey, would you like to come on our podcast and give us free shit?
John, I think you're still living in the point of the corporate world where they gave out freebies. that world's gone.
oh, God damn it.
Yeah.
Why are we even doing this?
All just cogs in the machine now.
If you would like to sponsor Authors and Dragons, you can for the low price of a copy of Borderlands 3.
Some stuff.
Yeah.
Or our Patreon.
Yeah, and that too. But, I like getting presents.
I don't have my ear to the ground for much of anything. I actually didn't even realize Rise of Skywalker was a thing until like a week before we saw it. So, I'm just looking forward to being pleasantly surprised by something.
The new Wonder Woman movie looks really good.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about Black Widow? Looks pretty good too, I'd say.
I tell you,
That one doesn't light me up at all.
I don't know. I'm kind of burnt out on superhero movies. I mean, I said that before the new Spider-Man came out, and I was really impressed with the new Spider-Man. It was as good as it needed to be, and I enjoyed it. And I imagine all these movies will be as good as they need to be, and I will enjoy them. But I'm not really, if they just didn't release anymore, I kind of might not notice. I don't know. I guess just like a 10-year culmination of Endgame was enough for me, maybe. Maybe
And that might be
something a bit different
the point.
now.
Like it was sort of a good exit point for. Holy shit! Is the Bill and Ted movie coming out this year?
Oh, seriously?
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
it is.
August 2020. Fuck yes.
That is something
Excellent.
I'm really interested to see exactly what they plan on doing with that.
Dude, if it's out when we're in Nashville, we should do a big group outing.
We will miss it by a week.
Oh,
It's
man.
coming out later.
August 21st. Yeah.
Oh,
If
wow.
this is like Bill and Ted having a midlife crisis, I am so down for that.
I'm just hoping that they don't fuck it up. It's a simple formula, but like a part of me is like, they're gonna fuck it up. They're gonna try to go for a PG-13 rating, or they're gonna try to do something, and they're gonna fuck it up.
Bill and Ted holds a special place in my heart because when I was very small, I was hit by a car quite devastatingly. It's a very panicked experience. I fractured my skull, bled all over my dad as they were driving me to hospital, and they had to put stitches in my head, and that was horrible. I don't know if you've ever kind of heard a needle going into your head.
Oh.
And then,
Please tell me there's a point to this story.
yeah, I got home. They were like,
Needle
well,
point.
I rented Bill and Ted. It's like, okay. And I watched it, and I felt a lot better about things. It really cheered me up. If you've been hit by a car, I suggest, go home and watch Bill and Ted. It's a good time.
I got high hopes for it. I think Keanu Reeves. I mean, he's done some funny things just being Keanu Reeves, and he's got enough money to where I don't think he gives too many fucks about anything. And then, Bill. I mean, what could he give a fuck about? What's he been in?
Yeah, Alex Winter doesn't strike me as like I feel like both of them are coming back to do it fun.
Yeah,
And that
yeah.
tends to make the best movies.
Right.
I get the impression that they wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't interesting.
No, because nobody was demanding this.
I mean, even Bill and Ted 2 was kind of like, when I thought Bill and Ted 2 was coming out, I thought, can you really do a Bill and Ted sequel? And they pulled it off.
Mostly.
Mostly. I mean, yeah, not a great third act, but all the going to the afterlife and death was a great character. He's right up there with Adolf Hitler in my book. Yeah, I mean, let me put it this way. They made a Bill and Ted sequel which I would have thought would have been mostly impossible. It's such kind of a lightning in a bottle, its own thing movie. And so I think if they're doing this after all this time, I don't think it's a cheap cash-in.
No.
I think there's something generally very interesting happening. Somebody just had a good idea.
It'll be good.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun.
I hope so.
I have another one I think we'll all be up for, but I just want to take one quick tangent and say a special fuck you to the people who made the upcoming Scooby-Doo movie. Fuck you.
Why is there an upcoming Scooby-Doo movie?
I'm deeply furious that they are doing like this thing that's supposed to be like a retrospective about Scooby and like Shaggy, like that's the whole thesis of the movie based on the trailer, and they didn't cast Matthew Lillard as Shaggy, the dude who has been fucking doing it since the 2000s consistently and actually puts in a shitload of work for the franchise. So yeah, extra fuck you to those people.
That's
We
a
should
cold
get Matthew
move.
Lillard on Authors and Dragons.
Yeah,
That
man.
would be a fucking dream. That would make me so happy.
He'll always be Shaggy to me.
Yeah. Free Guy, the Ryan Reynolds movie. I thought like we probably all that's up our alley, right?
Yeah.
I'd say
Yeah.
so.
Interested
I don't
in
think I
seeing
know
where that
anything about
goes.
it.
Well,
Ooh.
we should. I think Drew shared the link in our Facebook chat,
Yeah, I'm
because
sure
that's
he
why
probably
I
did.
saw it, and then we saw it. It was in the previews before Star Wars, and then my son and I were totally like, yeah, we need to see this.
I was hoping that was going to be in the previews, because when I took my kids to see Star Wars, I'm like thinking, okay, there's a bunch of movies coming out this year that I want to see. Let's see the trailers, and they just showed nothing but shit, and like each one was worse than the least. I'm like, this is Star Wars. Why am I seeing this human tragedy, like the trailer here?
Well, if they don't show it at your screening, John, you should look it up. It's basically Ryan Reynolds as an NPC in a video game who gets a little bit of self-aware sentience. It's not super explained. And starts just kicking ass, having fun, explosions, and Ryan Reynolds quippiness. So,
I'm in.
hell yeah.
Sounds like Underground 6, or 6 Underground, or whatever that Netflix thing was, which was Ryan Reynolds' quippiness and explosions.
Yeah.
I've heard that's the most Michael Bay movie Michael Bay has ever Michael Bay'd.
100 Michael Bay %.
Yep. No doubt.
My God. The signs are all in place. It is coming to pass.
The play button is an explosion. I'm probably the only one who gives a shit on this one, but Fast and Furious 9, I'm going to go. I don't care. I'm in.
God, is there 9 of
Is
them
The
now?
Rock in it?
Yes, it
I'm
looks
in.
like it.
I watched Hobbs and Shaw last week, and it was everything I wanted it to be. I
That
loved
movie
it.
was dumb. I mean, like, I loved it, but it was dumb.
God, yes.
Actually, I take that back. He might not be in this one.
As soon as they went to Samoa, I'm like, all right, I need The Rock and Roman Reigns doing a haka. And I got it. That's all I wanted.
I literally loved them explaining in meathead language the concept of teamwork at the very end. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so bad good. So similar to Bill and Ted in a lot of ways, Coming to America 2 is apparently a 2020 movie.
That
Well, I didn't.
Very different reactions.
I was
I
not
don't know.
interested in that at all until I saw what was it called? My Name is Dolomite with Eddie Murphy, which I forgot to talk about in our year in review, which was a fantastic movie on Netflix. Just a real feel-good kind of story about making a movie, being a comedian, and Eddie Murphy just being really good again, just giving a shit again. Like I haven't seen him doing what, 15 years?
It's been a while.
Yeah, so now I'm more excited for Coming to America too.
I would say, I agree with Drew that it should be good, because I don't see this as being possible for just a cash grab. I mean,
Yeah,
you make a sequel this far out. I mean, somebody must have had a good idea, and
Yeah, but time and again we've like heard things like that, you know. It's like, hey, 15 years ago we made Caddyshack. Let's make a sequel.
were those 15 years apart?
I have no idea. I know it wasn't close though.
but On the other hand, a lot of the kind of remakes that have been very disappointing and very cynical have been attempts to kind of reinvigorate franchises. I don't think they're going to reinvigorate a Bill and Ted franchise. I don't think they're going to reinvigorate a Coming to America franchise. I think, and I hope it's true, but I get the impression they're doing this because they've got something interesting they want to do. And I hope that's true.
I hope.
Me too. That would be the ideal version. I would love for it to be good. I love early Eddie Murphy stuff. He's so fucking good. And then the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, but My Name is Dolomite. It was like he was so charismatic in it, and just giving a shit again. So likable. It was just a likable, feel good movie.
I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah, I recommend it.
Really happy.
And didn't he have a pretty good run on Saturday Night Live recently?
He did. Yeah, he did like a bunch of his old characters. He seemed to be I don't know. He was having a good one.
So what did like somebody wake Eddie Murphy up from his Eddie Murphy coma or something?
I don't know. Maybe you get like to an age and you're like, oh, how's my legacy doing? And he Googles himself. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah, I wonder if it goes like, okay, I'm edgy, I'm young, but now I have a family. Now I'm going to be less edgy. Now everybody hates me. And then you get old and you realize I don't give a fuck anymore. And original me was the best me.
Ooh, people did not like Pluto Nash.
He probably just talked to his accountant one day, and his accountant just went, "You realize you're rich as fuck and you can do whatever you like." And he went, "Oh, I did not realize that." And yeah, maybe that's what's happening now.
I figured the answer to that was, yeah, I know, because one of the things I did was Scary Spice.
I might explain why he's not as rich. It's like, well, maybe it's just an age thing. It's like you get older now, Eddie Murphy, and your dick's not getting you in trouble anymore. Well, it turns out that some of that interest is accrued, and you can afford to do projects you enjoy doing again if you just fucking behave yourself.
Maybe his cocaine dealer left town. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe it's just kind of like, well, it's been 20 years of making bad personal decisions. And I think I'm over that now. I just want to make good movies again. Who knows?
On the subject of weird creative control conspiracy theories, I had a buddy who used to believe that if you angered the powerful in Hollywood, they would cast you into family film jail. And that's where careers went to die. It's like, look at man. Every time somebody steps the wrong way, they fucking go in film jail. You don't always know the cause, man, but you know it happened. It's like Tim Allen, Eddie Murphy. You're not wrong. They make a lot of bad movies.
And now Andrew Dice Clay in the Feel Good Family Film of the Year.
Yeah.
Ice Cube in Too Many Children. Yeah, it's like yeah, I can buy that.
If Ice Cube put on some rap from his old days in that movie, and they just played it uncensored. Listen, music. This is some music. Oh God.
Yeah, you almost something. They should make a movie where something like that happens, and like somebody runs in, it's like, and just puts on the original. It's like, this is who you used to be. Wake up, man. What happened?
We're busting you out of the Matrix, Ice Cube.
It might be because I just watched Surviving the Game, but Ice-T I feel like would be really fun.
No, I'm buying into the family movie prison thing. I think that's because they always say it's like when you see the kind of cynical Hollywood movies. Oh man, you've got to do a blockbuster, then your own project. But I think maybe that's not like creative decision. Maybe that's just kind of whatever thing they sign when they sell their soul.
Congratulations, you've died and gone to Hallmark.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so we can kind of close talking, I guess, on this end if we want, but the managing creativity versus risk, that is something we all do have a little bit of insight in because we all run our own companies. And like I've talked before, if possible, I generally try to structure it as book in an existing selling series and then book that's a little more experimental or new and then existing, etc. I try to rotate safe risky as much as I can. Do you guys have anything like that in place for your own kind of creative systems?
Kinda. I try to hold one writing slot for myself open for a non-ongoing series. It's hard because I've got 3 ongoing series right now, but I try to hold one open slot a year for something that doesn't fit into those. This year it was Raptor, a military sci-fi thing that didn't sell well enough to turn into an ongoing series. So, okay, that experiment was a thing.
I was just gonna say I got Caverns and Creatures. That's my series that makes me money. But for my risky, I've done a few other things, but nowadays I'm just trying to keep my head above water and keep going. I'm rating a little slower these days, so my risky is shingles, and I do a lot of shingles, but I feel like I do enough to where that counts as a significant amount of effort put towards something risky.
Yeah, I would say definitely fair, given how many you've churned out. It's
given how few I've sold. So.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I think that's our whole experience across the series.
Oh, I know.
It's a labor of love.
Yeah. It is, and I truly believe someday these motherfuckers are gonna see it for the brilliance it is, and then when it takes off, I'll have so many in the series.
I do love Shingle. I love having an outlet for ideas that I couldn't find places for in like a full novel. Like almost everything I've done has been stuff that's like, oh, this would be really fun, but I can't do a full book out of it. And so finally having an outlet for that is just outstanding.
And the awesome thing about Shingles is, like, so far, knock wood, is that nobody's getting rich off of Shingles, but nobody's getting poor off of Shingles either. They've all been mildly profitable.
And if the
Yeah.
the secret Hollywood spooks who listen to this podcast and steal our ideas, and they definitely do, are listening, Netflix, you're looking for that next killer streaming service, Shingles, man.
Shingles.
Hey, Hulu,
Where
you
it's
need
at.
something to fuck with Black Mirror. Why not take a swing?
Yeah.
My apologies. I don't understand.
That
Was that
somebody's
Hulu?
We don't
Alexa.
understand either.
I activated a robot. Shit.
That's
That's fair. That's a fair response.
It's really weird that I made a joke of Black Mirror in my Google Home response.
Nice.
Shit.
Yeah. God, what should you talk shit about these days?
Singularity is a coming, boys.
The thought,
Yeah.
the
Or it
thought-
already
The
happened.
thought police are real.
I love the idea that the singularity happened a long time ago and machines are just smart enough not to want anything to do with humans.
Yeah.
They created the internet and they fucked off into it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? The internet's great. Except for the bits that are awful.
And on that cheerful note,
I say create versus risk. I, unlike the rest of the people in this podcast, got a day job, which means I can kind of be a little bit more blasé about what I write. But then again, this year I'm getting involved with a project with Rick and kind of represented by John now, so I've got to behave myself. And the shingles, there's been a bar set of the shingles. I think that's kind of, I take a little bit of pride in stepping up to the plate on that and seeing if I can try and be as creatively awful.
I
As
was
Robert
going
Bevan.
to say, like, the bar, I thought you were going to say, I'm looking forward to stepping up to the bar and just stepping right over because it's not a very high bar.
Well, it is an extremely high bar if you consider it on its own terms of what you have to achieve with the shingles. So, it's a low bar if I wanted to do, if I was trying to enrich humanity in some way, low bar. But if I'm doing the opposite of that, we set a pretty high bar. So, yeah, I guess this year is going to be mostly collaborating with other people. So, I guess that's kind of thrown off my risk versus reward formula, in which I could pretty much do what I want because nobody was really listening anyway. That's depressing.
Yeah, I'm trying to temper.
The times when those are the times when you produce your best stuff.
Oh, no one's paid attention.
Yeah, I mean, if you truly feel like, no one gives a shit anyway, then you're free to do whatever you want. And I don't know. I find great stuff comes out of that.
Yeah, Bob's not wrong. Like the times when you just say fuck everything, I'm doing whatever I want, it tends to come out very interesting. Sometimes it has to be heavily edited back in, but like you get some interesting writing.
No, you're not wrong. I mean, writing for an audience versus nobody gives a fuck, I'm just going to write what I want. There's a certain purity there.
Purity. That's what Shingles is all about.
Absolutely.
Rick, what's yours?
Yeah. Mine has been trying to get better with it because, it was always going to happen regardless. But I realized, like in retrospect, I timed it stupidly, in that I ended my main series just around the same time that I went full time. But the lesson learned there is it has been, at least creatively, and it's not going to happen anyway because my brain is goes 15 different directions at once. Creatively, I don't necessarily want all of my eggs in one basket. So I'm trying, I'm trying to work on projects that I think are fun but also marketable. Because if I don't think they're fun, then they're probably not going to be marketable because again they're going to suck. So I'm trying to go that way to build multiple different franchises that hopefully can stand on their own, so that if person one comes to me and says, "Hey Rick, I like your Bigfoot Hunter series, but I hate Bill," well, that's fine. You got something there. And if somebody says, "Hey, I like Bent, I don't like your horror stuff," that's great. I want to have a little bit of something for everybody there. But at the same time, projects that personally I enjoy, because if I don't enjoy them, I'm not writing them, which tells you that they're never getting released, because if I don't enjoy them, they're probably going to suck.
Yeah.
I hear that. You gotta love what you're doing. It's very specific to this job, but it's not one where you can really bullshit through, or I can bullshit through. Some people can write stuff that they don't want to write. I don't have that.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons I don't write to market, because financially it might make sense, but I'm I just can't churn out the same story that everybody else is doing or so. That would just take the joy out of it for me, which in a sense probably would just kill this whole thing, because the whole point of being a writer to me is hey, we have that creative freedom. It shouldn't just be I shouldn't just essentially be a digital, a cog in an assembly line.
Yeah, that's a personal choice. I mean, I make the same personal choice, but I gotta understand. I mean, working in a factory or being a digital cog writing shit you don't care about. I mean, it's a living.
Yeah, and I'm not going to begrudge that, but I'm just also kind of like from my perspective, the whole, if I wanted to do the same thing over and over, I would just go back to corporate America and probably have a much more steady paycheck.
Yeah, if you're in this job to make money, you probably made a bad choice. Statistically speaking, this is not a great one if money is your main objective.
That's really important to point out, and I said this on a panel at DragonCon, that the viewpoint of what a writing career is gets skewed by the fact that the people who are most visible are the most successful, because we then have a platform. So most people who write can't make a living off their writing. That's all the arts. Most people who do it have a day job, or a spouse with a really great day job, or whatever. Somebody who's making their living and supporting their family off of writing, acting, dancing, playing music. Those are the outliers.
Well, especially with in the self-publishing world, because writing just doesn't cut it. You gotta market that shit too.
Absolutely. So, not to say don't do it, but definitely do it because you love it.
Yeah.
And then, you're way more likely to find success doing things you love than if you try to follow a formula for something you don't give a single shit about. Readers can sense that.
Yeah, don't believe the bullshit when you see the ads on Facebook or YouTube where it's anybody can make millions, just creating shitty Kindle stuff. that ship has sailed.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, I do not
Unfortunately.
envy Steve having to name this episode.
I don't know.
We really went all over the damn place.
Yeah.
It should be the rise of something, and like with an erection pun.
We hope you enjoyed this episode, The Rise of Something Something Dark Side.
something erection joke. No, it's
That's a good
Yeah.
All right, everybody. We will see you next week with a regular episode of Authors and Dragons. Until then, bye.
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 The rise of something in your dark side.